Hello, welcome back to. Oh man, yes, it is Box Office Buddies. Every week, different movie. It's been more than a week at this point. You know what? Anyway. I review movies with a different buddy. I'm here with JB, and yeah, you're a staple on the channel, but it's been almost a year since you've been here. I haven't reviewed much. I am really happy to be back at the movies. First time in the movie theater since March, and checked out Tenet, the latest by Christopher Nolan. Look, I'm a big Christopher Nolan fan. He's probably the only director I can say has never made a bad movie. So here we go. Does the streak continue, right? And look, I think he's one of the best directors out there. He's super creative. He's one of the only like big time auteurs in Hollywood. You have other people who write and direct and whatever else. But it's usually on a smaller scale. He's really one of the only ones who auteurs movies on a big scale. He's really fun to watch. I'm always looking forward to his newest project. Tenet. I'll start right out the gate and say I was disappointed. By Nolan standards,
it fell flat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it is because I have my expectations so high with him too. So I set him at a higher standard than I would a normal movie. I think if I had just never heard of anyone involved in this project and just gone to see this movie, I'd be like, oh, this was really cool.
Because of the idea.
Exactly. He really does come up with great ideas, and he's a fun director for sure. We actually reviewed his last movie together, Dunkirk.
Oh, that's right.
Which I was also actually disappointed with. So
I like that one.
His last few haven't been as exciting to me as his earlier stuff. Mm-hmm. But I mean, two of his movies are in my all-time top 10. So he's great. Again, with this one, really interesting concepts. If you want to compare this maybe to Inception, where you're playing a lot with time, and you're going into the subconscious and the dream world. Memento is also something where you play a lot with time. This one is also very focused on the sci-fi aspect of time and sort of time travel and manipulation of time.
It's entropy.
Yes.
Reverse entropy. It's not time travel.
Right, exactly. One thing I can say about Nolan is the production design and visuals are always really impressive. Top of the line special effects.
But even that fell flat for me in this one.
Did it?
I was they all looked and felt like stunts.
Okay.
And I because the music was so annoying, about 15 minutes into the movie was like, you know what? I'm going to try imagining each one of these scenes without the score and see if I would feel excited about what's happening on screen.
Okay.
90% of the time, the answer was no.
Right.
That score, man. It's annoying, it's aggravating, and then what's happening on screen, if it needs that kind of score to get you involved, I get it. It's film, and in the artistry of film, it's the sum of its parts. It's not just, like if you're not going to have music in a scene, usually it's because the director wanted that for a specific reason. If there is, it's because they wanted it. But the more I kept looking at it through that lens, the more I was like, man, this isn't very good. This is kind of boring.
Okay. I actually thought...
It's not top quality. It's like when you go to a circus act and it's a trick. And this kind of felt the same way.
Oh, yeah, that I agree with. I'm just talking about what I saw was very intricate. It was impressive.
Yeah.
But I do agree, like, I didn't really find myself enthralled in what I was watching the way I did with some of his other movies or with other, comparable movies that I would say are better. Take out the creativity of the concept and what's going on. I thought the movie was a little boring at times. I was not invested in the characters.
except for the wife / mother.
Okay.
I thought she was okay. She did a fine job.
Oh, I'm not talking about the acting itself. The acting, we can talk about John David Washington, who's the lead. He's the son of Denzel.
No way.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I liked him in a previous role. He did one of Spike Lee's best movies from the last couple decades, Black Klansman. And I also know him as Ricky Gerard from Ballers. But yeah, so he's the lead in this. I thought he was good.
He did the job.
I'm not a Robert Pattinson fan at all. And so, I had a bit of trouble, but I still thought he did a fine enough job in this. You had other actors too.
It was a fine job.
I just didn't care about the characters.
Yeah, the characters I didn't like very much. Most of the main characters I didn't like very much, except for that one. But also, it's like the dialogue was very overly written, and the characters came off as flat, and so there was nothing to invest into when it came to these characters.
Right.
So it wasn't that, like, they were doing a fine job with what they were given, but
exactly.
You couldn't go further than just the performance on the screen. Like, you couldn't feel anything. It was just, that's what's happening right now. Okay, move on to plot point B or whatever it is, Wasn't interesting.
Yeah.
Character-wise.
No, I struggle with the characters, and look, we gotta address the issue. You've hinted at it a bit, but
Sound design.
Chris Nolan, when is he gonna learn his lesson? Like, everyone said the worst part of The Dark Knight was Bane who cannot speak.
Oh, that's right.
And then you've got the same. We had the same complaint with Dunkirk.
Yeah, his
where
the mask.
Where Tom Hardy is also on the plane talking, and he's wearing a mask again. Oh, yes, I'm pushing. And this time again, he's like, you know what this movie needs?
More masks.
And honestly, it's not only when people are wearing masks. The dialogue in this I found indecipherable at times.
Yeah.
A lot of the time it was because of what you mentioned, the score, which is drowning out the what people are saying. You've got heavy accents added on to that sometimes, and just maybe poor sound mixing. I don't know what it was,
people talking over radio, over the phone,
but
during the music.
Yeah, you talk about dialogue. I didn't understand about 40% of the dialogue in this movie. So, like,
I fell asleep through some of it too. Yeah.
Did you?
Oh, it was boring.
Okay.
It was not enthralling.
Okay, I can't go that far. Like, I actually did enjoy a lot of this. And like I said, if it weren't his name attached to this, I think, and I just sat through this not knowing anything about it, I'd be like, okay, this was a pretty good movie. Still not great.
Yeah.
But
it didn't almost feel like a TV movie to you?
No.
No?
No, I thought it was definitely better than that.
Like, take out the stunts. Okay.
Take out the stunts, take out
just
the concept.
No, just
take out.
Just think about the characters and how they interact with each other when they're on screen.
Oh yeah, really.
It feels like a TV movie.
Yeah, no,
it doesn't feel. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's just,
that I cannot argue against. Like, the characters were weak.
Yeah.
Even the I don't know what it is. Some movies manage to really make you care about what the objective is.
Yep.
I did not find myself caring that much.
Yeah.
And there is a lot at stake, right? Like, if
Literally
the good guys aren't
the
successful,
world.
if the good guys aren't successful, the world will end.
We don't understand exactly how that works, but we know that will happen.
Yeah.
If the good guys fail.
So the world might end, and I'm still not caring that much, you know, and that's just poor execution in terms of characters and just overall dialogue. I thought maybe they focused a bit too much on, oh, look what we're gonna do next, rather than actually build something and give the audience a reason to care, other than just telling you should.
Yeah. And that action sequence at the end, it was more confusing than it was interesting.
Right. Yeah, I know. This movie's very confusing.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I understood the movie completely. No, look, the plot was convoluted.
Yep.
You know,
I love the concept.
yes, and
And I
having
loved
intrigue is good. Keeping
mystery.
you guessing is good. Mystery is good. But when you have to have a certain level, right, where you're kind of on board. And I didn't think that they did that at all with this.
No.
And my favorite movie of all time, The Matrix. Like that's what happens, right? You get Trinity. She's in this fight at the beginning. She's running away from someone. She gets to a phone booth, and a guy in a truck is speeding towards the phone booth, and she runs to the phone booth, picks up the phone, and smashes. You're like, what? This
What
makes
the
no
heck?
sense.
Yeah, exactly.
But as the movie goes along, you start understanding things. This just is kind of like, let's throw this in and hope you catch on.
And the film was boring. And I didn't like the characters enough to care
Right.
enough about the family drama.
No, exactly.
And the leads don't have any families, and these are agents, right, working for the government. Like, usually these are not the main characters in movies. Usually these are the ones who tag along with the main characters. So I'm trying to think of really good things to say about this movie, but I can't think of anything.
I was really impressed with the production design, with a lot of like subtle details that they do with the, time travel and stuff. And there is a certain level of intrigue that kept me
That's
like.
true. Yeah. It was intriguing, but the more answers they gave, the worse it got.
Yeah, exactly. The less you care about knowing more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Look,
It's almost like I wanted it to be a different movie than it was.
right. I'm actually gonna address that in a second, but
Yeah. There's no point going to see it in the theaters because you won't hear anything, and you won't be able to rewind to hear what they said. So don't go see it in theaters.
Anyone else want to add anything over there?
Subtitles. Director's cut with subtitles.
Oh man,
That makes it less
Oh.
of like a film, doesn't it?
I do. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I do have to say this also. Just I feel like I'm being so negative though, but this was long.
Oh yeah.
This was a long movie, 2.5 hours, and it felt like
Yeah, it drags.
2.5 hours.
And I'm just thinking over this movie again. Like some of the stunts too are just so useless. It almost feels like, hey, look at this cool thing we can do because we have money.
right.
And they're like, and he's like, let's have them reverse bungee up a building. Why though?
I thought that was cool. Like I was still on board at that point.
It seems like overkill to me.
And I really enjoyed the airplane thing,
I don't
crashing the
remember
plane, and I enjoyed that
Oh
part.
yeah.
Yeah, it was.
It just
was good.
it seems so. Yeah, I didn't.
I was on board for the first hour, and then after that, I was like, okay, this is starting to.
Well, in the first like 15, 20 minutes, I was seeing some red flags that
I'm not saying it was
dialogue-
a perfect movie in the first hour.
dialogue-wise, that score, and also it just feels so contrived.
Yeah.
So much of it, I couldn't get into it.
So, in your opinion, this would be the first bad Nolan movie you've seen?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I was saying before.
Okay.
They can blame it on COVID-19, so they're going to give him a budget for the next movie, which he's going to knock out of the park.
I hope so.
Unless our future is dominated by Marvel. Do you think that's what the reverse time overlords are trying to do to destroy our culture? Send more Marvel movies.
Oh no. You know what? This plague has been a blessing because there has not been one Marvel movie in 2020, so I'm excited about that. I think we've covered it. I've tried to say the positive. I actually don't think this is a bad movie like you did.
Yeah.
I think it was. Like I said, I think it's good.
It's
I
obviously
think it's worth seeing.
competent people were behind this and made it. So everything is done. Everything's fine. But nothing's good.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I gotta say one thing about the score. The score was fantastic. I don't know, Jason.
Take off your shirt.
No, I can't.
Okay.
The score was great. Just to sprinkle a little positivity on this movie. It was a great score. Too many themes. I'd say a little too much. They're experimenting a little too much with theme after theme after theme after theme.
Right.
But I enjoyed it.
Okay.
Although I have to think, I'm repeating you guys. The mixing was horrible. Holy,
it was the
I could, like the
combination of the
audio
score
was up.
with
The effects and the music were like way up here, and then the audio was down here. I understood probably about 10% of the dialogue. 10% of the dialogue.
I'm at like 60 or
10%. I didn't understand a thing that was happening in this movie, but I enjoyed it. The audio was ridiculous, but
no, that was the worst part.
I think
that was.
Could it have been the theater?
I would say yes, except Chris Nolan has
A reputation.
But
he's guilty at this point. I'm not giving him the benefit of the doubt.
I'm blaming it. I'm blaming a lot of it on AVX, the Ultra AVX. They love sound effects. They just crank the sound effects and the audio super loud.
No, he didn't want you to hear the dialogue because that was just supposed to be the background, and the foreground was supposed to be
The eye candy, which
There's a lot. Yeah.
those expensive suits that they were wearing.
Okay, bye.
he will be back June 5th, 2020 for Wonder Woman 1984. So, yes.
Yeah. The trailer,
check that out.
The trailer for Wonder Woman in the movie, they haven't edited out the release date, so it says June 5th, 2020.
Come on, guys. Come on. Anyway. So what do you want to do? You want to do Marvel and Matrix or Emoji the movie?
Emoji.
You just assign an emoji to the movie.
Oh, okay. Well, I can't think of another movie that this is like. I did mention before that this reminds me a little bit of TV movies.
Okay.
With really high production value.
Okay.
So I'm just going to say this is TV movie number 96.
Look, usually if I do a Marvel the Matrix, I would say oh, this is a movie that I find similar to this. What I'm going to say instead for this one is I'd said I was going to kind of talk about this where you said, it makes you want more, and there are other movies that do it better, and pretty much the entire second half of this movie, I just kept telling myself, I wish I could be watching Edge of Tomorrow right now.
That was such a good movie.
That's all I was thinking for the last hour and a half.
That's a fun movie.
And that's a movie that plays with time that I found so much better.
To be fair, it's not supposed to be complicated Edge of Tomorrow or a high sci-fi.
Exactly,
It's just fun, but at least it was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least it was entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give this
a bad version of Edge of
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, like this. I wish this were Edge of Tomorrow is what I'm giving this. Good on certain levels, and it has enough, for me anyway, to make it decently entertaining. But
Do you think maybe we're stupid and we just didn't get it?
Well, I asked myself that the whole time.
Yeah.
But
I
justify it by just saying I didn't understand almost half of what was said. So.
That's true.
So
That's true.
You know what?
Maybe it was explained, but
yeah. Well, that's it. Actually, I have some sad news. My team was eliminated from the playoffs. So
in this fantasy league,
this guy's going. I kept it for solidarity with you, but
you mean the Habs?
This is going. Last review with the beard. But
unless in the comments you talk about how sexy he looks in the beard, and then he's gonna be like, maybe I'll keep it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Selena Gomez, I'm waiting to hear from you. And that's it. Next time you see my face, it'll be a lot more naked. But thanks for watching anyway. Make sure you share this video. Let people know what we thought so that they can be forewarned. Like the video, comment. Not necessarily about the beard, about anything, your thoughts on the movie or on his beard. And yeah.
Oh, here's the thing. This is what's really cool about this whole review. We actually did this whole thing backwards, and we then played it in reverse for you guys at home to be able to understand what we were actually saying this whole time.
Yes, I will say the movie title backwards right now. Tenet. All right. Take care. See you soon.